Hello, my name is Timothy Williams. I trust everyone's doing well, and today I'm going to be talking about marriage. Now, I get excited when I talk about marriage. Marriage is just so wonderful. It's just awesome. When you think about the intricacies and the way God designed marriage to have both people grow closer to Him, to grow together as one, it's just astounding what He did. Whether it's the gears moving, whether it is the pistons, whatever it is, God created a system in place that actually grows us closer to Him, and that is phenomenal. Now single life is good too. Okay, and if God has given anyone the gift that He gave to Paul to be single, hey, that's all good. But when I think about both single life and marriage life, and I think about life in general, I think about the principle of movement and growth. Okay? So, what that means is that anything that is not moving or growing is either dead or in the process of dying, any living thing. Okay? And so, when you think about that principle, okay, and then we go into looking at single life versus married life. And again, both of them are great. But in single life, you can easily check out. If God is trying to grow you in different ways, you can easily check out. Okay, so that means if I'm in a relationship and I don't like the person, hey, see you later, have a good life. I'm out. If I'm in a job, okay, that I really don't like, I'm having problems with the manager or some of the employees, and I don't have another job to go through, I can easily check out and stay with a family member. See you later, I'm out. Even with family members, if there's certain family members I don't like, I don't have to call them. I don't have to be around them, maybe once a year, twice a year, but not even that. So there's an easier way you can check out of things in single life. But in married life, that's not happening. In married life, it's a 24/7 opportunity to grow oneself. And so that's the beautiful thing that I like about marriage, and that the process that God put in place, and the mechanisms and the gears that and the systems that God put in place for us to grow. I really enjoy that aspect of it, and because I enjoy growing. So this is a beautiful thing when you think about it. So now, let me lay a foundation before I start. Now, the topic is going to be, in marriage, how do two become one? Okay? So the foundation I'm going to lay is, some people may agree, some people may disagree, and it's okay. But we don't really know love. That's the foundation. We know carnal love, but we don't know real love. Most people. Now some people do. And those that do will be able to tell you that taking the journey with one spouse um, and love is challenging on a daily basis because of self. Self gets in the way. And that happens. It's a normal thing. So let me give you an example. So boy meets girl. A boy walks in the room, sees a young lady he's attracted to. All right. So what does he do? Well, if he's a hunter, he goes right over. Let's say, though, because a hunter has experience, a hunter doesn't care about being shut down. Hunter doesn't think about no's. He just walks in. But let's leave the hunter on the side for a second and think about the general person who, wants to meet this person, is attracted to this person, but not a hunter. So the woman then would have to give him a signal that says it's okay to come over and introduce yourself. Okay, so she might flick her hair, his way, or she might bat her eyes, maybe not like that, or she might, if she's with girlfriends, she might separate herself and go, and then maybe give him a smile, something like that. She's gonna do something that says, "Hey, I'm approachable. It's okay. Come on." And so if he gets the signal and he gets over there, he's good, unless when he opens his mouth, he doesn't say what she wants to hear. If that's the case, then he will get shut down, and she'll say, "Hey, it's nice knowing you. Have a great life. See you later." Okay, but let's say now These two get together, mutually attracted to each other, and they hit it off. And then they start dating and having a great time, going to different places, doing different things. Everything's great. Yeah, they have some challenges in the relationship, but they overlook those challenges. Why? Because they have carnal love. And so in carnal love, the enjoyment that I'm receiving from the relationship tends to be greater than the challenges. So we really don't deal with all the challenges. We might touch upon some of them, have some conversations. We don't go too deep. Why? Because we got carnal love. Okay? So let's say after a while, these two get married. It's like, hey, we're going to, get married. And they follow God's edict to a certain point. Edict is we're going to leave our parents. So they get an apartment or get a house, do whatever they're going to do. They then cleave to each other. They get to know each other, spend time with each other, having a great time with each other. Okay, but the become one flesh is kind of difficult for them because of carnal love. That's all they have. So it's hard to become one flesh when you only have that, because one flesh demands a physical, a mental, and a spiritual connection. And so we got gear, they got gear one going, which is the physical. They got gear two going, well, which is the mental. But the spiritual gear, that one is not moving. And then the absence, when we look at our relationships, in the absence of that spiritual gear, which is the Holy Spirit, okay, God working through you via the Holy Spirit, when that gear is not moving, we default generally to the emotional gear. And that emotional gear, when you have challenges in a relationship, that emotional gear is going to do like this, because the emotional gear is based on feelings, whereas the spiritual gear is based on faith. And though challenges come, it still moves like this. And you are not shaken. The relationship is not shaken because of that spiritual gear and faith. Okay? So, now let me give you a visual on that. Let me give you a little visual here. So, let's say here, this is the brain. Okay? So the brain is here. Okay? And every day, every minute of every day, the average person gets all kinds of different thoughts random thoughts come into their brain. Some of them are positive, most of them are negative. And if you start to entertain that thought and entertain it and dwell on it, it can actually separate you from your spouse and create a divide. Because I'm thinking now on something else other than that relationship. And these thoughts are coming from outside within, just random thoughts. Now, the heart's a different thing. The heart actually, that's from within, okay? Desires and stuff that come from within, but that's a whole different subject. We're not dwelling on that right now. We're not talking about that. We're focused on just the random thoughts that come from the outside and tries to hit your brain. Now, sometimes, I know personally for me, when I get a certain thought that comes in, I identify it and have to say, hold on, this is not my type of thinking. I don't think like this. Lord, help me with this thought. And then I dismiss it and take it out. But you must be able to cultivate and maintain that type of um, of spiritual, I guess we can say, a force field, if you will. Put something around you to protect you, and you have to be intentional about that, to protect you from those different thoughts that are trying to come into your head. And those thoughts can come in, via an argument, via disagreement, via anything. It could be nothing, just everyday random thoughts hitting you. And so you gotta try and maintain some type of, okay, I'm going to dismiss that. That thought is not good, but I cannot entertain those thoughts. Happen all the time. Okay? And so in a relationship, let's bring that down to the relationship. In a relationship, you have the husband and you have the wife. Both of them have their own biases, their own understanding, their own upbringing, their own training, experiences that keep them separated, because this is all based on self, and self keeps you separated. Okay, the physicalness, the mentalness, that brings you closer together. Okay, but it's not as consistent. Okay, because something comes up, and again, random thoughts, whatever it is, thoughts based on circumstances, and it kind of something someone says, and it kind of divides you apart. So, what is the mechanism that God put in place to have the two become one? What did he do? Oh, this is awesome. I am so glad you asked. So, here it is. So, if I leave it up to just the cardinal love, okay? I'm going to basically, when there's a topic that comes up, we may agree to disagree, okay? But we don't come together as one. So, what is it? So the mechanism, the system that God put in place is to follow his one truth. So if we follow his one truth, here's what happens. I might have a certain bias and a certain understanding of something. But if I look to God for that truth, I'm going to say, "Oh, I have faith in God. I believe in what God said. So I'm going to move closer to his truth. And I'm going to dismiss the upbringing, the bias, whatever it is that I had in my brain. I'm going to dismiss, or in my heart. I'm going to dismiss that because I'm following God's one truth." And the same thing now with my wife. If she does the same thing and says, "I'm going to dismiss what's not accurate. That's not accurate. It doesn't conform to God's truth." And so she dismisses it. So we continue to go closer and closer to God, and that brings us one in each other. And we become one flesh, mentally, physically, and spiritually, because we're all following one truth. We're on the same page. There's no selfish bias or intentions. We have both agreed that we're going to follow one truth. And if our mindset, if our upbringing, if our biases are different than that one truth, we're going to dismiss them. We're going to let them go, and we're going to grow. And that is one of the mechanisms God put into marriage. Marriage is a 24/7 event. I can't check out like I can if I'm single. I must stay in and work it out. And generally, that's what we try and do, but we try and do it in a way that we're only doing it in the physical and in the mental sometimes, but the spiritual has to be there. And that spiritual piece is deciding that we're both going to follow God's one truth so that we can become one in each other. Okay, folks, hopefully you got something from it. I've enjoyed talking to you. I'm excited about marriage. It's a great thing. I'm enjoying it, and I thank you. Have a great day.